Hello, everybody, and welcome to the TFE, the Total Franchise Experience, where fantasy is at its finest. I am coming back at you for the fourth installment of my hopefully 30-team post-auction in the middle of the auction breakdown. Going to look at the San Diego Padres today. Don't have Tony with me. I'm kind of doing this spur of the moment. I got some free time. Dog has to go to the vet, so I got a bit of an empty house. Got a little bit of time to crank a couple of these out. Didn't bother hitting Tony up, so you just get me. You get me talking about today the San Diego Padres, and I recall saying in the Discord that I thought Matt had a pretty good auction, and that still stands today. So today's the 22nd. The auction is all but over. The Padres have been done for a little bit now, and came out of the auction. I gotta say, looking pretty good. $32 Bryce Harper in the auction. Love. I had considered making a run at trading for Harper, but I didn't really have the money. I didn't have the flexibility to take on. I think he was 30. I remember what he was. Was he 33, 35? He was in the 30s. Didn't have the flexibility to take that on without giving a lot back. And then I just didn't want to give up a lot for Harper, but I wish I would have had the scratch to make a run at him for $32 in the auction. I love that price. Also ended up with a $20 Jason Dominguez, a $18 Christian Yelich. So some both left fielders, but still patting the outfield up a little bit. Both left field only. Maybe that presents some kind of issue for Matt. And he's not great at shortstop, but with Matty Shaw having shortstop eligibility and could very well break camp with the Cubs this year, I'm a big Matt Shaw believer. I think that the shortstop issue probably will solve itself for the Padres. I like this lineup a lot. Maybe not a ton of depth. It kind of depends on how much you believe in Kobe Mayo, how much you believe he's going to be up with the big club for a good part of the season. So maybe the bench bats are not fantastic. Foskew's utility only. Will Rice be a big leaguer? Will Mayo be a big leaguer? So you definitely could see a lack of hitting depth, but I almost feel like that's going to be a bit of a theme for most of the teams that we look at on this little series. Moving on to the pitching. Didn't do a ton in the auction on the pitching side. Picked up $18 Devin Williams, which, the Yankee closer, going to be pretty nice. I don't know how I feel about the price on that, but he had the money to do it, so why not do it? Imanaga, Reese Olson, Bowden Francis was showing a lot in the second half of last year. Zebby Matthews is, I don't know what I think about Zebby. He had that insane run in the minors where he threw like 60 innings without walking a guy. And then you're looking at Chris Paddock and Drew Thorpe to round out a not great rotation. It's definitely not the worst, but we're going to see several that are better. The relief pitching is better than the starting pitching on this team, in my opinion, with Williams, Trinan, Jeff Hoffman, three pretty solid relievers. I don't know what Trinan's role exactly is going to be with the Dodgers, but he probably works into holds and he strikes guys out and stuff. But yeah, there's some names there. If McCullers can get back to being a big leaguer, he hasn't thrown in what feels like years and years. I don't know exactly how long it's been, but maybe 2022 or 2021 even. Has it been that long for Lance McCullers? Does this blurb say? Major League Game during the 2022 World Series. So it has been forever and a day for Lance McCullers. Even if he comes back, you don't really know what you're going to get from him. I think Trax, of course, is being a bit ambitious, projecting him for 13 plus points per game. I think that is silly, but that's Trax. they don't think highly of Chris Paddock, and they think pretty highly of Drew Thorpe at almost 12.5 points per game. I don't know where these guys get their projections from, but Ranger Suarez didn't mention Ranger Suarez, underrated, really nicely priced at $12, and he's been really pretty good the last couple of years. Yeah, 15.2, 13.5, and then 13 going back to 2022. So very solid, 150 inning a year guy. So yeah, like I said, it's good pitching. It's not. I don't think I would put it in the very good category. It's good. It could be pretty good. If Jack Leiter gets his shit together and Zebby is, I don't know if Zebby as advertised. Festa is a better prospect pitcher for the Twins, of course, but Zebby, I don't know if he's much more than a back end guy. But in a 30-teamer, back end guys are quite valuable on their own, especially for $3. But just lacks a little bit of that top end after Imanaga. Really, I like the lineup a lot more than I like the rotation. But it's not a terrible rotation, not a bad rotation. It's certainly not terrible. It's good. I don't think I would put it in very good yet. I don't have a ton of faith in Paddock or Thorpe or McCullers for that matter. And Leiter has not really done anything at the big league level to get us excited, but definitely more depth in the pitching and the bullpen than in the lineup for the Padres. Does have a nice crop of prospects. We talked about Matt Shaw. Jacob Melton is really nice. Owen Casey is really nice. Cole Emerson. These are all top 100 guys. I know BA just released their list, updated 100 today. I don't know where all these guys are on. I don't have BA, but Quinn Matthews, another top 100 guy. I don't know if Frasso is, but he probably sees big league innings this year. So Matt definitely has some minor leaguers waiting in the wings that are going to come up and throw innings and get at bats. So maybe that depth issue kind of takes care of itself. So overall, Padres, I think, pretty good team. I think this is probably a playoff team. And let's see, what would I give? Let's give these guys. It's pretty good. I really like the lineup. I really do like the lineup, even with the perceived lack of depth. $7 Jackson Merrill is incredible. He's going to be a real life Padre and a TFE Padre for a long time, I get the feeling. I don't feel as great about $28 Junior Caminero, but he could very well end up, returning that value. I just, for a prospecty guy last year, you wish he was a lot cheaper. And we'll see how $20 Dominguez turns out. Speaking again of the BA list, I know he dropped considerably. He was top 5 and he dropped down to 20 or maybe 22, something like that. And usually when nothing has happened to precipitate that, it's maybe not a great sign, or that guys are not as sold on Dominguez, at least over there, as they were before. It depends on where you like to get your prospect list from. But either way, it's a pretty exciting young core with Caminero, Dominguez, and Merrill. So and Mayo for that matter. And then looking at Matty Shaw, who again I love. Padres pretty good. I'm gonna give them. Let's give the Padres. I think he's a playoff team. I think Matt's a playoff team. Give him 7.8. 7.8 fish tacos out of 10 fish tacos. 7.8 out of 10. Padres probably going to be a playoff team, and looking good coming into year 2. Looking good coming into 2025. Got some youth, got some olds, and there's your Padres. 7.8 fish tacos out of 10. We'll see you on the next one.